my wife was accused of a felony. Felonious assault. It was 3 years ago. She was a softball coach here at Michigan State at the time. And I get a phone call one day, and I can tell she's shaken up, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "No, I'm sitting at my desk. What's up?" I just got pulled over, and I thought, okay, speeding, something, no big deal. She said, no, I was just interrogated. I thought for a second, how and why did this even happen? She said, "I don't know, but they stopped me on Shaw. They just pulled me over, no lights. I was at the stoplight. They walked up and knocked on my window. They pulled me in the back of their car, unmarked car, 2 detectives, not from this area. And they started asking her questions about an incident that had happened with one of her players. So my wife was a pitching coach, so she threw a lot of batting practice. And she happened, I don't know if anybody plays softball, but in that game you happen to get hit by the ball every once in a while. Well, someone didn't take too kindly to it. And they decided that she intentionally hit them with a softball in an attempt to inflict bodily harm. So I thought it was kind of funny at the time. That being said, I said, I'll take off for the day. Let's go home, we'll talk about it. Call a lawyer just in case, no big deal. That's May. So for the next 2 months, internal investigations, external investigations. There's conversations with lawyers. I have no idea what to do. I have no idea how to help this person. Now, at the time, we'd been married for 7 years. We'd been together for 15 total at the time. Someone I've spent a lot of time with. I know very intimately, everything about her. We have kids together at that time. I don't know how to help her in this situation. I don't know what to say. It's the hardest thing that I've watched someone go through for 2 months. You don't know what's happening. You don't know when you have to talk to someone, who you have to talk to, what their intent is, what they want to know. So after 2 months, it's dragging on. She has to go on a recruiting trip. She has to go on the road. And we get word that this is going public that next day. It's June. It's going to hit the papers. And she looks at me, she says, I don't want to go to Tennessee by myself. Can you go? And I said, no, I can't go. And she looked at me for a second. She said, I really want you to go. And I said, I don't want to go to Chattanooga today. It's 3 hours until your flight. I don't have a ticket. We just can't make it work. Who's going to watch our son? I selfishly said, I don't want to do this. I didn't think about what she was going through. She got a little more upset. Tears started to flow. 4-letter words started to come out. I need you to come with me. I need to not go, was basically what I said. Now, there's a movie, you guys are probably too young to have seen it, or maybe you did. It's called The Adjustment Bureau. And it's all about choices and how they shape everything. And I was in that scenario right there. So stubbornly, I said, fine. This isn't that big of a deal. It's going to be in the papers for one day. No one's going to care. I'll go. I get a ticket. We go to Chattanooga, Tennessee. We have no idea what's coming out the next day. We don't know if it's good or bad because no one's talked to us. It was silent. And our attorney said, don't talk to anybody. Don't talk to your family. Don't talk to your friends. Don't talk to your coworkers. Don't talk to anybody. Midnight. We wake up. It's in the newspaper. Softball coach, head coach, assistant coach, accused of a felony. Holy shit. It becomes a firestorm. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help. These are 2 people now that I know who I've spent a lot of time with. I love both of them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in that moment. I can only think of myself. How does this look? What are people going to say? I don't take the time to think about the empathy I need to help, if it's anything. I'm sitting in a hotel room with her in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Nobody knows us there. We have anonymity. I can freely go around the town and nobody knows. It's not even in the news cycle down there. but it felt like solitary confinement. You felt like everybody's eyes were on you when you were walking around. And for me, I had to watch that happen. I had a front row seat to see what it looked like to be completely free of being known who you are, but still be so afraid to get out of a car, to leave a hotel, to do anything. I don't know how to help that. I didn't know how to help that. The trip ended up being the best thing that could have happened. Because over the next 3 days, it hit every newspaper in the state. It hit ESPN. All I could do is think about myself in that moment. I didn't think of anybody else. The selfishness is something, it's hard to explain. But I thought, what would people think about me in this situation? Not what would people think about her. She came home from being around town here, and our neighbors would see her, and they'd kind of dip their heads sometimes. And you have people wondering, is this woman they've known for all these years a criminal? There's 2 months of newspaper articles, 2 months of the story being told from everybody else except the people involved, because you can't talk. You can't say a word. The silence is the hardest part. My wife's a fighter. She wants to say something. You can't. You want to get it out your side of the story. You can't. It's a 2-month process. August, we know it's coming. We know it's coming to an end. The investigations from multiple jurisdictions are coming. Prosecutors' offices are going to make their final determination on whether they're going to press charges and go forward with this prosecution or whether they're not. Whether this is over or whether I'm going to have to start figuring out, worst case is my wife going to jail. This is serious. How do I explain this to my son when he gets older? What's going on? How does this affect me is what I thought. I didn't know where to help. I didn't know what to do. So we know the day our attorney says, listen, the investigations are wrapping up. They're coming to a close. We're going to have a final decision next week. Spend another week waiting. Still haven't said a word to this day. This is the first time I've ever talked about this. Finally, the day is coming. I know what time he's calling. The phone rang.